talk about partying and mayors and CEOs and, well, you name it, the who's who. And we've got the who's who of the who's who here today. Mary Lou Corcoran from Victor Harbor, the Mayor. Hello, Mary Lou.
Hi, Anthony, and congratulations on such a wonderful milestone achievement today. It's just fantastic.
Oh, well, there you go.
That was loud.
I didn't get in my mouth. How does that... Well,
there's a fair bit of excitement in 2 for 2.
Yeah,
it's
we
fantastic.
blowing up anything, guys?
That's great.
Well, there you go. So it is 1 year today, and you are here, Mary Lou, to celebrate it. What went down there? Anything you need to worry about? It reminds me of the country days with the weddings, old days when you used to be able to put confetti.
Confetti, yeah.
And we were from the country, and we used to tip the guys upside down and put down their trousers and everything. So,
but no more confetti these days.
I know.
Then it went to rice.
Yeah, that's right.
But that hurt.
Oh, it's just so boring, isn't it? Anyway, mate, you're not boring. I want to hear about what Mary Lou has been up to and a bit of background so everyone can understand that you've actually got some deep history in South Australia.
Yeah, very much so. Well, I'm currently the Mayor of the City of Victor Harbor and have been for since November 2006. It's an absolutely fantastic role to hold within the community, and I will say I had a fair bit of background to that. I've always been brought up in sort of community, and I'm from a large family, 8 brothers and sisters.
Whoa, 8 brothers and sisters. 8
brothers and sisters, and so yeah, we were down in the southeast in Millicent. But my grandfather was in politics for 19 years. And my father, the former Premier of South Australia, Des Corcoran, was in it for 21 years. So I have a fair bit of interest in upbringing and background, I suppose, in community involvement and getting jobs done. So that's why it's just been great being part of Victor Harbor, because it is a very progressive town and it's growing quite rapidly, and there's always something going on.
Mary Lou, just a quick thing on my perception of you as the Mayor. You kind of tip things upside down a bit. You know, like the Sleepy Hollow sort of like had what we just had then, had rather an explosion. Before we finish the show, I'm going to actually ask you, what the main things are that have been achieved. But first of all, I just want to run through a series of questions here and really get to the bottom of what's happening and also the property side of it. What is happening on the coast? What are the main things that are happening right now?
Oh, well, of course, we've got school holidays on, so the coast swells quite dramatically. The population of Victor Harbor goes from around 13,500 to about 30,000. But all across the south coast, Port Elliot, Middleton, Goolwa. Goolwa Alive's just been on this weekend.
How did that go?
It was fantastic. It was just so alive. There was people everywhere, and of course with the water coming back into the area.
How good's that?
It is absolutely brilliant, and people were coming back down to see it. And I mean, the mouth of the Coorong's just opened for the first time in 5 years. And that alone is a great achievement for not only the people of Goolwa and the Fleurieu Peninsula, but South Australia and Australia, because it is a main artery of Australia.
Is that anything to do with intervention, or is that just nature that's sort of...
Well, I think we've had a lot of rain, I think, and not just here, but in Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. It does take a long time for the water to come down from Queensland. We're looking about 4 to 6 months for any of that. But also I think the farmers... through allocations have also, and the buyback of water has
all
been...
contributed?
It has all added. And the community have stayed very strong, and they've had a very passionate voice about this river being nurtured back into health. And I think it's a great achievement. I think we're still going to have challenges, but it's a great sign of a turnaround.
But also for property values, it's just an unbelievable shot in the arm.
Absolutely. There were concerns there for a while that, especially within the Goolwa area, the property values had dropped quite significantly because the message was quite negative around the area. But now with the water back and the boating back and
the smiles,
it's just great.
Yeah, mates of mine, we've all got friends down the south coast. They are literally dusting down their boats, getting the cobwebs out, and they are so excited. It's amazing.
The whole coast right now is just alive, and the weather is absolutely perfect. We're sitting around 24, 25.
Even the Rock and Roll Festival.
I know, it was great.
It went off, didn't it?
So yeah, we've done lots of different events, and we actually communicate between Goolwa and Victor Harbor and Port Elliot, Middleton. We make sure none of our events cross over, so there's always something going on in the Fleurieu Peninsula every weekend, be it from McLaren Vale, Yankalilla, Victor. And Victor Harbor is the epicentre, it's the regional centre, so I suppose that's why people are attracted there, because they're then accessible to any of these areas within a 20-minute drive.
So presumably the GFC hit us pretty hard in the Fleurieu. And from what we're saying now, people are back on top, aren't they, or into it?
Well, in a way it did hit us, but we certainly were buffered quite a lot. I think what people went through was more of a cautious stage, so it was real consideration before making major purchases or, you know, major life decisions.
Yeah.
But I think we were buffered. I think we survived quite well. It's a little bit different. We have those demographics, which are an ageing demographic. So there are a lot of people on fixed incomes and superannuation. So there were a certain amount of people that were affected, but it has bounced back, and Victor Harbour is a solid market, and it's a guaranteed market because it'll always have the beauty and the Mediterranean climate.
Coming over that hill, you know, as you come into Victor, what does it do to you? For me, it just, every time, because as a kid I went down to see my grandparents who had Toot Motors there, and as we came over, as kids from the earliest times, going over that hill, and we always, because we were from mid-north, there was no water, so you can over the hill, bang, there's the ocean, Granite Island, it's just,
and it just captures your breath. I mean, I travel a lot, and I'm in and out of town. We call it the front door because it is just the best entry to any community that you could possibly have, and you capture your breath. And I know my children, when I say, look kids, and they go, yes, we know, we're so lucky, because we are very lucky.
And that's something they will remember. Now, Mary Lou, we've got to get on with a bit more of the show.
Absolutely.
We're going to come back with some more questions. We'll get down to some real property questions for you.
Okay.
Now, a snippet from the fireside chat that's coming up was on last week, which was the Chief of Defence for South Australia, and that's Andrew Fletcher, and here's a bit of gold that was in that show, so let's have a look at it now.